Okay, pawn endgames. Here, the first thing I notice is that there's a check, and this pawn's pretty strong. However, I don't really see how I'm breaking through. I don't have any of these squares, so if I'm gonna try to win, I feel like b5 is kind of a necessity. Because alternatively, I just don't have any way of moving my pawns. This is doubling these pawns here, which, you know, could be nice, except for the fact that I don't know if there's really any win that follows. Push this, so I think it's gonna have something to do with opposition. I mean, you can see currently that I do have opposition here, and there's also this, so maybe I don't necessarily need opposition. Although if they're just running across here, then it might kind of matter. Because, I mean, I assume this is the first move, because this gives them a move. Maybe this works as well. I'd have to think about it, but we just ignore anything happening over here, and let's say I have to take. And I go here. Can they stop me from getting in? I don't think so with this coming. And if they have to move the king again, well, they gotta go, you know, somewhere here, which allows this. And I should be able to just get in. So that looks pretty strong for me. So how can I best utilize that to win? If I were to take like this, they could take with the king. And I wonder if maybe that extra option is bad for me. I can't move a pawn unless I move this. But then after that, that's not the winning. So if I do this and then king takes, I guess it's pretty problematic. If I push this here, they go over here. If I push takes, takes. And now they can do this, and with opposition, I think they just kind of win. So I think I have to take like this, which to my understanding would force them taking like this, and I play this. Okay, they move over. So takes, they can't even go here. It takes here, push takes here, here. This looks annoying. Is there a better way of doing this? I mean, I could maybe win this pawn. I don't know if that's adequate though. If I move over, then I just don't see how that could ever be useful to me. I think maybe I take like this, then run this way. Because I just don't see how I ever enter on this side. Whereas if I go here, they go here. But I don't know if running this way is enough, because, well, let's say they take. It probably is. Here, they go here, I go here, and go here, 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 and I just run the pawn up. So I do believe, but how is this an only move? The thing with puzzles is there are only moves, and I don't see how this move is at all different than this move, for example. And there has to only be one solution, which is kind of a problematic thing about puzzles. It's just not a normal position. And I know that there's only one solution, so perhaps I just have to play this. But if I go here, 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 and they just go back, and if I go here, 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 it's just not useful. So I think I have to run this way, but unless Lichess has this thing where there could be multiple right moves, I don't get it, because I don't see how this is any different from this move. There has to be a difference. So that means the move has to be this, but I don't really understand how the move is that. Here, here, here. I just don't see anything. I guess I push the pawn. Oh. Yeah, that seems okay. I go here and I push the pawn. Then where can they go? They go here, am I getting in? Here, here. No, let's just say they go here, 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 here. Yeah, I do think that's winning. Why isn't this winning though? Here takes... Or no, here they push this and they build a wall, it seems. I can't cross there, so that's why. Okay, then you have to work your way in, win this pawn, and it's pretty trivial from there. Okay. If I can win this pawn, I obviously win the game. I don't think that's happening though. I have a decision to make in regards to this. If I take this here, they take that. Can I run forward? No, I'd kind of have to take it, and then I'd be in this position where maybe I can force a king move, but it's not so clear. And this square, they can just go to that square, so I need to stop them from going to this square. So that makes me think I have to take like here. And if they take back, and then maybe I can either run my way up there, or I have to take back here, and then I can play a waiting move because this is covered and that's not, and I try to get there. I'm unsure. However, I do feel pretty confident that I am supposed to take the G pawn first, and then take this pawn. Or no, I'm not confident about that one. I could also go here. But takes, well then I get here though, and if they go back there, then I'm just getting in here and I'm winning. So I have to find the difference between takes, let's just play this first. I'm pretty confident that's right. Okay. So I have to decide between takes and king to d6. Just this exists, but yeah, if I can just get up. Here takes, and I'd have to run here. And this is pretty simple actually, I think, to calculate. They can just go back and I'm never getting in. So with that in mind, this cannot be the right plan. Takes, takes. So that means I perhaps have to do this, but if they go here, that seems a bit problematic. Takes. And yeah, this pawn should be destroying me, I would think. I mean, I can still catch it, but I don't think that's saving me from all these complications. So I have to deal with this pawn, and it seems to me that the only way I could ever deal with this pawn is by taking this. So if I had low time and I was playing game, I would play this right now, because I'm fearing the h-pawn advance. But the puzzle's not going to end up being a win instead of a draw, so I have to keep that in mind. And maybe this isn't winning. There's also ideas of like this, for example. That actually looks quite promising. Let's check here, there, and that looks very powerful. Check here, takes. Here I push this, I can catch this pawn, and if they don't do anything, this pawn's rolling, so this might actually be a winning move. I don't see how the alternatives are. Here, presumably they have to take it. And then, let's say they go here, then this pawn is making it. here, 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 here. I promote, and if they go here, actually, I can check the king, and the king's got to go here, and I would win the queen. So what if the king doesn't go to that square? Here, takes, takes. If they go back, say here, then that comes with the check, and I'm just running over, and I presume that's winning. So, and I think otherwise my king just catches the pawn, so what does it matter? Because takes, takes, like here, here. If they just want to run this forward, I can just run my king over here. And I have this strong pawn, so I'm just going to recalculate them moving their king forward. Takes, takes, here, 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 here. Yeah, and it seems just that that wins. Really? Really? That looked very promising to me. Maybe it's a draw? I don't really understand how that's not winning. I'm gonna have to look at that, I guess, with Stockfish. Other ideas are here and here, and I'm assuming that this has to get played because I fear this move. And then the H-pawn running up the board. How is this ever winning? It's just not. Wait, they have to move the king again, though. Because if takes, takes, here, here, here. No, but it's my move, and I don't have anything. Takes, takes, here. Well, they can't go back there, though, because then I have this. And if they have to move a pawn, it's winning. Really? What? Here, takes, 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 takes. Oh. Okay, so I understand now at this point, but actually curious as to why this is not winning. So you have to play this. I would take back. Wait, it is winning. Was engine just wrong? Oh, king f3. So what I calculated is winning, but this isn't. Yeah, I guess I just shouldn't have neglected this. This all makes sense here. Take it, yeah, okay. Then, after they take back, you just play this, and there's no way to stop you from winning this, and just pushing the pawns. So, this king has no squares to guard this pawn, which just means that as long as I can waste enough tempos, I win the game. So presumably I don't want to move this pawn. However, the alternative involves sequences which seem to force this pawn to get moved, and if this pawn ever moves, it's an issue. So I go here, they go here, they go here. Well, once they push this, though, they're losing. So if I do this, they can't ever move this pawn. They have to move this pawn, and that's not good. That was a pretty simple one. I can build the wall, stopping any of these squares with pushing the b pawn. And then from there I would probably try to go up here, although that seems a little challenging. I'm not really sure how that would work out. If I don't do that, then my king is obviously too slow to do anything. Besides maybe this push. If they go here, 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 and I push this, takes, then maybe there is something there, but I mean, yeah, it looks somewhat promising. I do have a passed pawn, but it doesn't look winning. If I do this, then they can just throw pawns around, and it just seems very difficult for me to find a move. You know, maybe they'll try something like this, but I guess the idea ultimately is if they run this way, then I guess f4 here has to be the only way. So once the king reaches this square, it is, I guess, questionable whether or not it can. If you can win these, that's very good. So I think a key idea here is once the king reaches here, f4 should be winning, I think. Here, I mean, this is just taking away way too many squares. Although I don't necessarily see the win, surely you can just get yourself up there. Or run around or whatever. So what am I doing in the meantime that's threatening? I don't really see how I can do anything in the meantime. Well, they maybe try to go this way. What am I supposed to do? I just walk up. Where am I going? Well, that's actually a very big deal. Although, I don't think that's winning there, and I don't really know. I guess if these pawns ever get pushed, though, then my king is there to assassinate them. So, with that in mind, it's only really these pawns which can move. And if I'm trying to stall these pawns, I might actually want to start with f4, or b4 I mean, to prevent a5. Because once a5 comes about, here, and they've successfully wasted everything. I could alternatively maybe start with pushing the a pawn. But it just doesn't feel correct. It forces them to maybe move the king. They do a little dilly-dallying. Here. How am I ever going forward? Well, I could waste a tempo with, say, this. And they have to move the king. So I kind of like that. Interesting. Well, I'm lost, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to calculate it. very strong. Why would this be an issue? I don't understand. I mean, it has to be the move, I would think. I go here and they go down. Maybe push this, takes. I assume that's right. No? I go here. Really, I just... Here. No, this can't be it. If I'm trying to waste a tempo, I don't know why it matters what pawn I waste a tempo. Really? This is not the move? I just feel like there can't be another logical move. I guess I'm not just wasting a tempo, I'm wasting a tempo while guarding this, but I'm gonna have to see why exactly. I'm doing what I'm doing. So going back to the start. So what's the difference here? So it does have to do with these pawns, which makes sense. Both... I guess now I don't have this square, which maybe was important before. Yeah, I shouldn't have let that get rid of my squares. So of course you play there up first. Let's see what they have black do. I'm right in seeing a5, although I don't really see why you'd have to play a5. f3 is also shown as a move, which I think is, I mean, utterly ridiculous. Is this winning? I mean, if this is winning, I don't think the puzzle should be what it is. So, I'm gonna see. Granted, the engine could be wrong here, but... Okay, so it's not winning. The puzzle makers ostensibly did their due diligence. Here, if you go here, then I guess the issue is just, you know, with the pawn being annoying and running down and not being in time, which is a lot of calculation. Yeah, they just want a5, which makes sense. As a move, it's just making sense is the only move then means a lot of calculation. Okay. I think I'm gonna do one more. That is a lot of pawns. So this pawn wall is stopping me from moving forward. So even if I shut down this, it's like here, and it's not really anything for me. I might want to try to do something in this regard. This is very complicated. But with this, I think I find it very hard to believe I'm in time. Yeah, I'm just not. If I push this, they take it. That looks very strong for me. Push this and they push that. Then I just don't see how I'm justified. So maybe if I push this and let's say they have to take for whatever reason, Well, then I just haven't damaged this pawn, so that wouldn't be useful, would it? They're gonna have to play... I mean, they only have 2 more moves that don't do anything at all. So, considering that, I could just waste some time. Starting with the B pawn makes the most sense, as it stops them from forcing my king back. Presumably, them moving their king would create issues. So let's say they just move something. And I go here. And after this, prevented that. They just move again though. Then I can't move. So maybe I play that. Here. Here, here, here. Why can't they just play something? But then there's something like that. This has to be the first move. Okay, it's not. I mean, I shouldn't just be clicking buttons. Doesn't make it very useful for learning, but I just really don't understand what's going on. This check seems killer. Well, here then they just do this. Takes. I guess that makes it so if they have to move the king, there are issues, except not really. But I can play this move stopping that. But I can't because that pawn would no longer exist. So I can have this as an isolated pawn, but after they go back here... Wait, no, they can't, they're not, they can't go there. Now I just waste time. Pushing this is my first thought. This is my second thought. It's one of those 2 moves. One of the G-pawn moves. This means here takes. But it seems like these are very weak, and that concerns me. And I'll have to calculate a pawn race. But intuitively, I don't think the pawn race is winning. If I play this... This is concerning to me, as I don't see how that is going to be very useful. So they just do this, I do this. And they get to strike. It seems like I would have to move. Wait, but I can move this forward, right? So no, but the pawn would already be forward, so that wouldn't work. So I think it might have to be this, unless I'm calculating wrong, which is a very strong possibility. And there's no way they're in time, right? Because for them to be in time, they have to win this pawn too. We're gonna say that this works. Takes. Let's say they take. Pushing? Wait, does that work? Why does c4 work? So, yeah, king d6 should also be winning, I think. Minus 1.6, I would say, is winning. This here takes... Oh, because after I take back, then I'm so close. Because I was like, isn't the c pawn or the a to become b pawn just running up? But no, it's not, because my king is now placed here, so I can recapture it. Okay. That will be that.